All right, if you're anything like me, your pre-gym ritual probably involves a cup of coffee. And I bet you've asked yourself the same question that gets thrown around all the time in the fitness world.
I mean, that's the whole point for a lot of us, right? The idea is it cranks up your metabolism, helps you torch those fat stores. But is that, real or just something we hope is true?
Well, to get a real, solid answer, we're not going to just look at one random study. No, we're going big. We're diving into a massive meta-analysis. Think of it like a study of studies. They took the data from 19 separate, high-quality experiments and mashed it all together to cut through the noise and find out what's really going on.
So, what did they find? The verdict is yes, it actually works. Pre-workout caffeine can fire up your fat-burning engines. It's not a myth, and you knew there was going to be a but, right? There's a catch. A pretty big one, actually. It only works if the stars align under very specific conditions.
Okay, so here are the 3 rules you gotta follow for this to actually work. Rule number 1, the dose. You need at least 3 milligrams of caffeine for every kilogram you weigh. Rule 2, timing is everything. You have to have been fasting for at least 5 hours, so no breakfast first. And rule number 3, the type of workout matters. We're talking about steady-state aerobic exercise here, not necessarily going all out with heavy weights.
Now, this is where it gets super interesting. Who do you think gets the biggest bang for their buck here? You'd probably guess it's the elite athletes, right? Wrong. The data shows the exact opposite. This caffeine boost for fat burning was only really significant for people who are sedentary or untrained. For folks who are already pretty fit, the effect was, well, kind of meh, almost nothing. So the more in shape you are, the less this particular trick seems to work.
Okay, so caffeine gives you a little bump. Under the right circumstances. Cool. But let's just pause for a second. We need to zoom way out, because how much does that tiny boost you get during your 1-hour workout really matter in the grand scheme of your entire 24-hour day? That's the real question, isn't it?
So let's think about your daily calorie burn like a budget. Scientists call it your total daily energy expenditure, or TEE. The biggest chunk of that budget, like 60%, is your basal metabolic rate. That's just the energy it takes to keep the lights on, breathing, thinking, existing. Another 10% or so goes just to digesting your food. That leaves that last slice of the pie, physical activity, and that's the one we think we have all the control over. But even that piece isn't as simple as it looks.
Let's slice up that physical activity piece. It's really made of 2 totally different things. The first one is what you'd expect, EAT, which stands for Exercise Activity Thermogenesis. That's your run, your gym session, your planned workout. But then, there's the other part. The part almost nobody talks about, but it's a huge deal. It's called NEAT. And honestly, this is where the story gets wild.
So what on earth is NEAT? It stands for Non-Exercise Activity Thermogenesis. And it's basically the energy you burn doing, everything else. Everything that isn't sleeping, eating, or a workout. I'm talking about walking to the kitchen, fidgeting in your chair, doing the dishes, typing, standing up. All those little tiny movements we do all day long, they all add up.
And why does this matter so much? Here's the key. Your metabolism, from just being alive, your BMR, that's pretty stable. The calories you burn eating, also pretty stable. But NEAT, it is all over the place. It's the secret variable. It's the reason 2 people who are the same size and eat the same things can have completely different daily calorie burns.
Get ready for this, because this number is just staggering. The difference in daily calories burned just from NEAT between 2 people of the same size can be up to 2,000 calories a day. No, that is not a typo. 2,000 calories. That is way more than you'd burn in even a crazy intense workout, and it's all happening outside the gym. And here's a super simple way to see it in action, your job. If you have a desk job, you might burn about 700 calories from NEAT. But let's say you're a teacher or you work in retail, you're on your feet all day. You could easily double that, hitting 1,400 calories. And if you're a construction worker or a farmer, you could be burning over 2,000 calories a day just from your job before you even think about hitting the gym.
And look, don't just take my word for it. The actual scientists who research this stuff are very clear. When it comes to managing your weight, NEAT isn't some little side note. They call it, and I'm quoting directly here, a factor with potentially major impact. It's a huge fundamental piece of the whole metabolic puzzle.
So, let's wrap this all up. What's the big takeaway? Sure, that pre-workout coffee might give you a tiny little boost, if you follow all the rules. But the real game changer, the thing that truly moves the needle on your total daily calorie burn, it's not what you do for that 1 hour in the gym. It's the sum of everything you do in the other 23 hours. That, right there, is the incredible power of NEAT.
And that kind of leaves us with one big final question to chew on. We pour so much energy into optimizing that perfect 1 hour workout, right? Squeezing out every last calorie. But what if we've been looking in the wrong place? What if the real secret to managing our energy isn't about having a better workout, but simply building a more active life?